Hey, I've been doing cold email for over 7 years, and at our B2B marketing agency Revenue Boost, we've helped over 450 plus clients get leads and get meetings with cold email. And today I'm going to be ranking all of the different cold email tools out there. So if you want to get started, you want to know what the best tools to pick, or if you're already doing cold email, already getting results, and you're thinking like, hey, do I really have the best tool? Is there something better out there? Should I just create my own? I'm going to answer that for you. And just to clarify, because you have to say this nowadays on YouTube, this is a sponsored video. I'm giving a objective review. We typically try them if we think they're interesting. So we're always trying different tools for our clients, and I'm going to share the main one that we use and also the main one that's new that I'm actually the most excited about to test further. But again, I just want to clarify that this is not a sponsored video. This is just my objective view on all these different tools that we've tried and all the other ones that are out there in the market that are very popular. So I'm going to rank these based on a few factors, right? Results, which is the most important. Value for money, ease of use, how easy it is for beginners, and then scale and deliverability, which is very, very important. And also if you're sending millions of emails a month, that might require a different tool than the one you have now, right? So it depends kind of what you're using it for. And then also AI features. So let's start with the worst, because if I start with the best, you guys, might not watch the rest of the video, right? So let's build up some suspense here. So what gets an F is MailChimp and HubSpot. And this is not really a major fault of theirs. I've seen a lot of clients that use this to do cold emails, but really these just aren't cold email tools. They are email marketing tools, but it's very important that the tool you use to email your warm list, aka your newsletter, your opt-ins, your leads, your customers, is not the tool you use to do cold email. And without boring you with a bunch of technical jargon, all I'll say is that email deliverability is, very, very important, right? And it's much harder when you're doing cold email outreach. When you're reaching people who didn't opt in to hear from you and they have a lower response rate, lower click rate, etc., it's much easier to land in spam and to have your inboxes burned, right? Long story short, there's tools that are specifically designed for cold email outreach, and they have all their different techniques and tricks to avoid the spam box, right? Because naturally, you're fighting a more uphill battle there, right? So you don't want to just, if you were to use these tools for your warm list, just don't use them for cold. I know it might seem simpler, but you're just going to have much harder time landing in the inbox, much lower results. You'll land in spam. And you will have a huge risk that you will use your main email domain that you might email your customers on, and you'll get burned and you might have a hard time emailing your customers, right? So keep your cold email system completely separate, right? Anytime when I'm hopping on a consulting call and a business wants me to review their cold email, the second I see that they're on HubSpot or ActiveCampaign or MailChimp, I'm like, cool, we don't really need to have the rest of this meeting. First step is just get off of this and let's get you set up somewhere else, right? So now if we're going into cold email tools, let's find the ones that are not the best, right? So first is seamless.ai. It does seem that they have some great data, but overall, even the data is very overpriced. So main issue here is that pricing isn't very good, overpriced, and also it's one of those legacy software tools that locks you into like a year-long contract, right? In today's day, and we have over 50 different software tools we use at our company, Revenue Boost, probably even more, honestly, like just at least 50 paid ones. And none of them we have to do an annual contract, right? So I think that's a very outdated business model. And I think in the past, especially nowadays, when people can just use AI to vibe code their own, or they, often think they can if they think it's simpler than it actually is. But nowadays, charging people an annual contract is silly. Like if your tool is good, you shouldn't need to charge people upfront for a year or lock them into a contract, right? But even with the bad contract terms, it's just overpriced. Mailshake, also a good one. This was actually the first automated cold email tool I used. When I started doing cold email, I was doing it manually in Gmail. I probably should have put Gmail on this list and just put it as an F, right? But I remember used to having to manually cold email people. I remember sitting in a cafe 7 years ago, just copying and pasting cold emails to get clients for my first marketing agency and just feeling like a mindless robot, right? And then I found Mailshake, and that was really cool. Another similar one is Woodpecker that also came out, I think, around that time. But I put them both in the same bucket. They're just old tools and they're not built for scale. So maybe smaller campaigns is fine. But, Instantly and other tools changed the game when they offered unlimited sending and inbox rotation, right? So if you want to be sending thousands of emails per day, you're going to have a hard time with these older tools because they're just not built for the modern era, right? So inbox rotation is a tool that you definitely need, and I'm going to explain more on what that means in a minute. So just don't use any of these, essentially. Now, C, there's Apollo.io, and I was debating making this a D, but here's the thing. We use Apollo a lot. Actually stopped using it recently. We switched, but we only ever use Apollo for data because the first time I used Apollo for cold email was about 5 years ago, and we did get results with it. But again, that was 5 years ago. Nowadays, deliverability is harder. So a couple things I didn't like about Apollo. First of all, their email interface was just really clunky. Split testing was impossible. And then their deliverability wasn't good because they don't have inbox rotation. If you want to add 100 inboxes and send high volume, you can't do that, which means your only other option would be send a lot of emails from one inbox or a couple, and you're going to land in spam, right? So it's just pointless to use it unless you have you only need to send a couple dozen emails a day, then sure, use it. But still, I just found its UI clunky. And split testing wasn't possible. So I would say there's three features that are the most important to me with any cold email marketing tool. It's being able to A/B test easily, because that's how you win and get results, which is where you would, let's say, test two different lists, or maybe test two different versions of an email, right? Or many versions, right? And just, be able to run both of them simultaneously and see which one gets the better result, right? So that's essential. If you're not doing that, that's definitely hurting your results, right? Because otherwise you're just guessing that you have the best email copy. Hey, real quick, how would you like a free 7-hour mini course on exactly how to start and scale outbound campaigns that book you appointments and get you clients? If that sounds good, then click the link in the description and download it real quick. This is free, my gift to you as a subscriber. And definitely download this unless you hate leads and you don't want to grow your business. If that's the case, then don't do it. But otherwise, grab it and put it to work right away. I mean, this is literally so action-packed, so straight to the point. You can pretty much just go through the whole course in a day, implement it tomorrow, and start getting booked appointments the next day. So it's very, very easy to follow. Grab the link in the description down below. Hope you enjoy it. And also, if you don't want to do this yourself and you would actually just like to hire a team to run outbound campaigns for you and book you sales appointments, then there's also a link in the description to book a call with my team and I, where you can actually just see what it would look like to have us just do all this for you. Anyways, thanks for watching, and let's get back to the video. But that's important. Analytics are important because we just take a very data-driven approach to scaling cold email. And honestly, all digital marketing, the biggest advantage you have is data. So you need tools that have good analytics. And then email deliverability, right? I would say all these tools rank pretty low on all of those. So Apollo is up higher because it at least has the database built in. So the nice thing is, if you are using Apollo, you can use, their database is decent, right? So you can get, we've processed probably millions of leads through their database. So we use their database. We've tested some newer ones, because same thing with Apollo, legacy tool. If you need high volume, they try to lock you in for a year contract. And I just have no patience for that nowadays, right? But, their database is decent. So at least the simplicity is you can have the data in Apollo and then send it to the Apollo sending feature and run campaigns. But I just think it's quite clunky, so I wouldn't use it. So let's go to B. So maybe you've heard of Smartlead. Smartlead, also a great tool. I was debating making this an A. So part of this is going to be based off my preferences, but you might know Smartlead versus Instantly. Instantly was the first big cold email tool that made a splash, because they said, hey guys, we're going to get you better email deliverability. We're going to have built-in warm-up, and we're going to give you unlimited sending accounts, unlimited email sent for one monthly price, right? And it made it easier to do high volume at scale without paying an arm and a leg like these tools would charge you, right? Like charging people per mail is such a thing of the past, right? And then also it allows you to have inbox rotation, which helps with deliverability, right? Smartly came out shortly after that, but I didn't put this as B. I put it a little bit below Instantly, and this might be personal preference. I heard someone else say that, I think it was Eric Nowozowski, who said that he thinks Smartlead is more like Android, Instantly is more like the iPhone. Point being, Smartlead does have some more advanced automation features, but it's a little bit clunkier and not as easy to use, at least for a beginner, right? So yeah, I think this is honestly a great cold email tool. I just didn't put it at an A because I think it could be a little bit simpler to use, right? But still a great tool. So now with that, let's go to A. So I would say Instantly is the main tool we use. We've been a partner with them for years. We love it. It's just super simple to use. You could literally start Instantly. And by the way, this is before AI. So before they released their AI features, you still could get a campaign up and running in an hour. Brand new account, just doing it for your first time, right? It's very simple to use. So I love that. I love the analytics. A/B testing, they actually have A to Z testing, so you can test a lot of variables. And the pricing is pretty fair too. So yeah, I mean, pretty much all of our all of our clients at this moment are on Instantly. But we are rolling out SendKit for a few of our new clients. So I'll talk about the difference between that in a minute. But Instantly is great. I really think you can't go wrong with any of these three. But if you prefer ease of use, that's where Instantly would have Smartlead beat. So that's what I would say. And by the way, guys, I have links below. If you want the link to Instantly's down below. I'll put SendKit down there as well. Those are the only really tool we're using now. So I'll put the link to those if you want to grab it free. But yeah, definitely these are my two favorites. So SendKit is a newer platform. We've been using InboxKit for a while. They're our go-to tool for buying inboxes and domains. We don't buy them out of Instantly because their pricing is quite high for it, and you can get the same thing elsewhere. So Instantly we use for sending campaigns, right? We also use it for replying to leads, so inbox management. It has a decent database. We're not using it that often because we like to use Clay to get leads and build our list and enrich data. But if you're just starting out, so a lot of times when I'm consulting a business and they're new to cold email and they're just starting out, I say, look, do everything in Instantly. Get your inboxes, get your list in there, send your campaigns, and manage replies, right? I only do about half of that because I do find you'll get better lists if you go straight to a database like Clay or AI Arc, and then we put that into Instantly. And we also find a better price if we get our inboxes and our domains elsewhere, like InboxKit is my favorite for that, right? But for the simplicity, the nice thing about Instantly, it truly is the most all-in-one tool. So yeah, you might get some more efficiency and some more cost savings if you use these other tools, but most people aren't running an agency like me and doing cold email at very high scale. So if it's just your business and you're running some pretty modest campaigns, just keep it simple and use it in Instantly, right? But SendKit, so SendKit is a brand from InboxKit. I know the founders, and they're really great guys. They have a really great team. So they created InboxKit, and then recently they created SendKit. And the reason I'm very excited about SendKit is because these guys know email deliverability very well. InboxKit, that's what they do. They provide you inboxes, and then you can normally connect that to Instantly or Smartlead, right? And send from their inboxes, right? So they have a good foundation of email deliverability. And now when they released a sending tool, like a competitor to Instantly and Smartlead, I was really excited because I knew that, okay, these guys understand deliverability and they're building it deliverability first. And that's what they told me. So yeah, I think nowadays what we're prioritizing the most is email deliverability, which is, if you don't know what that means, it's the percentage of your emails that actually make it to someone's primary inbox rather than go to spam. And I truly feel these guys have the best system for that. But again, we're still testing it out, but so far loving what we're seeing. And I do foresee us moving a lot of accounts over there because yeah, I don't know, the last 2 years, it got a lot harder to land in the primary inbox. The spam battle just became really a lot worse. And Instantly has made some good improvements, but SendKit's just newer and they've just built again for the modern era, right? So the trend here, and I'm noticing this with a lot of SaaS across other departments in our company, is that the older the tool is, the more likely it is to suck nowadays, right? Or the less good it's going to be compared to a newer tool. Not always, right? There are obviously a lot of like crappily vibe coded tools flushing the market, but essentially like some tools that are built 10 years ago, they're built on code from 10 years ago and they've kind of stacked on top of it. And it's not like with how fast tech changes, right? Like think about it. A tool that comes out today can be built for the modern era, right? It's kind of like, so I used to be in construction, right? And there's this thing in construction where it's actually cheaper. If you have an old house that has a lot of problems, it's cheaper to knock it down and build a new one than to try to fix it, right? So especially these companies like Apollo or Seamless, right? They're so old and they're just trying to like update their things to be and like patch their software to be better fit for the modern era and this fast changing landscape, especially with email deliverability. It's changed so much, like the rules of like Google and Outlook, right? So yeah, anything newer I'm usually more excited about because they're typically built with like what's working now versus trying to like keep improving upon an old thing that might not have the best foundation for today's day and age, right? So, and these guys at SendKit, they just have the data because they run an inbox company. So for deliverability purposes and high volume, we're definitely moving all of our high volume accounts here. So yeah, Instantly is what all of our clients are now, but we're starting to test out SendKit more. And especially for our clients that are sending like hundreds of thousands or millions of emails a month, any clients that we get like that, we're going to put them right in SendKit because of their better email deliverability features. But obviously, this changes, right? I will make another video next year because this list could be different a year from now. And that's why I make these videos to show you guys, what we're testing, what we're seeing, and, what's working now, right? But if that's useful, I hope it's useful. If it does, please subscribe. It definitely supports the channel. Comment below any questions. I definitely read all the comments. And what is your favorite tool? If there wasn't one that I listed here, let me know. And I'm definitely happy to look into it and maybe make a video in the future. But other than that, I also want to say that the tool is 10% of the battle. What really makes your results work is your strategy, right? Your offer, your lead magnet, your copywriting, and your list building, right? And the overall strategy of how all those elements work together. So very, very important that you choose the right tool. But if you're not getting results or you are getting a result, it's typically more going to be about the actual strategy and like what's going in the tool, right? Which is why if you want some more help with that, click another video. There should be another video popping up soon, or go subscribe to my channel and watch more videos because we have tons of training on the actual creative sides of cold email marketing, right? How to write good copy, how to build a good list, how to use AI to personalize things with Clay. We have a full clay.com course as well. So yeah, definitely check out more videos on the channel or on the website if you want to learn more about, the other side of things. But in terms of picking the right tool, these would be my go-to. And thanks so much for watching.
Hey, I'm AJ Cassata, co-founder of Revenue Boost. Really hope you enjoyed today's video. If you do, make sure to leave me a comment and definitely subscribe right now so that you're notified of all the cool stuff we're doing, all the cool tactics, tips, and strategies that we share here on the channel. We help B2B companies scale to 7 to 8 figures. We've helped over 400 clients and we can help you too. And we share some amazing stuff on the channel here. So really hope you enjoyed. And if you do, let me know in the comments and be sure to subscribe. All right, back to the video.